Hare Krishna. Now we will hear about other references of Gaya and Dham from Srila Prabhupada's book. First we are going to see is Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila chapter 17 and verse 8. Tabeta karila prabhu gayate gamana Isvara Purira sange tathai milana. Translation. Thereafter the Lord went to Gaya. There he met Srila Isvara Puri. Purport. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu went to Gaya to offer respectful obligations to his forefathers. This process is called pinda-dana. In Vedic society, after the death of a relative, especially one's father or mother, one must go to Gaya and there offer obligations to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. Therefore, hundreds and thousands of men gather in Gaya daily to offer such obligations or Sraddha. Following this principle, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also went there to offer pinda to his dead father. Fortunately, he met Isvara Puri there. Next verse is from Adi Lila, chapter 17, verse 9. Diksa-anantare haila premera prakasa dese agamane punha premera vilasa. Translation. In Gaya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was initiated by Isvara Puri, and immediately afterwards he exhibited signs of love of Godhead. He again displayed such symptoms after returning home. Purport. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Gaya, accompanied many of his disciples, he became sick on the way. He had such a high fever that he asked his students to bring water that had washed the feet of brahmanas. And when they brought it, that Lord drank it and was cured. Therefore, everyone should respect the position of a brahmana, as indicated by Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Neither the Lord nor his followers disobey or disrespect to brahmanas. Next is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1st, chapter 3rd and verse 24. Tatha kaulo sampravratte samodhya suradvisam buddho namnas jana sutha kekate subhavisyati. Translation. Then, in the beginning of Kali Yuga, the Lord will appear as Lord Buddha, the son of Asjana, in the province of Gaya, just for the purpose of deluding those who are envious of the faithful theist. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Lord Buddha, a powerful incarnation of the personality of Godhead, appeared in the province of Gaya, Bihar, as the son of Anjana, and he preached his own conception of non-violence and deprecated even the animal sacrifices sanctioned in the Vedas. At that time, when Lord Buddha appeared, the people in general were atheists and preferred animal flesh to anything else. On this scale of Vedic sacrifice, every place was practically turned into a slaughterhouse, and animal killing was indulged in unrestrictedly. Lord Buddha preached non-violence, taking pity on the poor animals. He preached that he did not believe in the tenets of the Vedas and stressed the adverse philosophical effects incurred by animal killing. Less intelligent men of the age of Kali, who had no faith in God, followed his principles, and for the time being they were trained in moral discipline and non-violence, the preliminary steps for proceeding further on the path of God realization. He deluded the atheists because such atheists who followed his principle did not believe in God, but they kept their absolute faith in Lord Buddha, who himself was the incarnation of God. Thus, the faithless people were made to believe in God in the form of Lord Buddha. That was the mercy of Lord Buddha. He made the faithless faithful to him. Killing of animals before the advent of Lord Buddha was the most prominent feature of the society. People claimed that these were Vedic sacrifices. When the Vedas are not accepted through the authoritative disciplic succession, the casual reader of the Vedas are misled by the flowery language of that system of knowledge. In the Bhagavad Gita, as a comment has been made on such foolish scholars, Avispashchitu, the foolish scholars of Vedic literature who do not care to receive the transcendental message through the transcendental realized source of disciplic cessation, are sure to be bewildered. To them, the ritualistic ceremonies are considered to be all in all. They have no depth of knowledge. According to Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verse 15 states, Devescha sarveraham eva devyo. The whole system of the Veda is to lead one gradually to the path of the Supreme Lord. The whole theme of Vedic literature is to know the Supreme Lord, the individual soul, the cosmic situation, and the relationship between all these three things. When the realization is known, the relative function begins, and as a result of such a function, the ultimate goal of life or going back to Godhead takes place in the earliest manner as well as in the easiest manner. Unfortunately, unauthorized scholars of the Vedas become captivated by the purificatory ceremonies only, and natural process is thereby checked. To such bewildered person of atheist, Lord Buddha is the emblem of theism. He therefore first of all wanted to check the habit of animal killing. The animal killers are dangerous elements on the path of going back to Godhead. There are two types of animal killings. The soul is also sometimes called the animal or the living being. Therefore, both the slaughters of animals and those who have lost their identity of soul are animal killers. Maharaja Parikshit said that only the animal killer cannot release the transcendental message of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, if people are to be educated to the path of Godhead, they must be taught first the foremost to stop the process of animal killing. As above mentioned, it is nonsensical to say that animal killing has nothing to do with spiritual realization. By this dangerous theory, many so-called sannyasis have sprung up by the grace of Kali Yuga to preach animal killing under the garb of the Vedas. The subject matter has already been discussed in the conversation between Lord Chaitanya and Milana Chandikazi Sahib. The animal sacrifice, as stated in the Vedas, is different from the unrestricted animal killing in the slaughterhouse because the Asuras, or the so-called scholars of Vedic literatures, put forward the evidence of animal killing in the Vedas. Lord Buddha superficially denied the authority of the Vedas. This rejection of the Vedas by Lord Buddha was adopted in order to save people from the vice of killing animals, as well as to save the poor animals from the slaughtering process of their being big brothers who clamor for universal brotherhood, peace, justice, and equality. There is no justice when there is animal killing. Lord Buddha wanted to stop it completely, and therefore his cut of ahimsa was propagated not only in India but also outside the country. Technically, Lord Buddha's philosophy is called atheistic because there is no acceptance of the Supreme Lord, and because that system of philosophy denied the authority of the Vedas, but that is an act by the Lord. Lord Buddha is the incarnation of Godhead. As such, he is the original propagator of Vedic knowledge. He therefore cannot reject the Vedic philosophy, but he rejected it outwardly because the Suradvisa of the demons, who are always envious of the devotees of Godhead, try to support cow killing or animal killing from the pages of the Vedas, and that is now being done on the modernized sannyasis. Lord Buddha had to reject the authorities of the Vedas altogether. This is simply technical, and had it not been so, he would not have been so accepted as the incarnation of Godhead, nor would he have been worshipped in the transcendental songs of the poet Jayadeva, who is a Vaishnava Acharya. Lord Buddha preached the preliminary principles of the Vedas in a manner sublime to that time, and so also did Shankaracharya, to establish the authorities of the Vedas. Therefore, both the Lord Buddha and Acharya Shankara paved the path of theism, and Vaishnava's Acharya, specifically Lord Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, led the people on the path towards a self-realization of going back to Godhead. We are glad that people are taking interest in the non-violent movement of Lord Buddha, but will they take the matter very seriously? Had closed the animal slaughterhouses altogether? If not, there is no meaning of the animal cult. Srimad Bhagavatam was composed just prior to the beginning of the age of Kali, about 5000 years ago. The Lord Buddha incarnated about 2600 years ago. Therefore, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Buddha is foretold. Such is the authority of this clear scriptures. There are many such prophecies, and they are being fulfilled on one after another. They will indicate the positive standings of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is without trance or mistakes, illusion, cheating, and imperfection, which are the four faults of all conditioned souls. The liberated souls are above these flaws. Therefore, they can see and foretell things which are to take place on distant future dates. Now we will hear about some few passages taken from Srimad Bhagavatam verses. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3rd, Chapter 1st, verse 13. A good son is called Apatya, one who does not allow his father to fall down. The son can protect the father's soul when the father is dead by offering sacrifices to please the Supreme Lord Vishnu. This system is still prevalent in India. After the death of his father, a son goes to offer sacrifices at the lotus feet of Vishnu at Gaya, and thus delivers the father's soul if the father is fallen. But if the son is already an enemy of Vishnu, how in such an inimical mood can he offer sacrifice unto Lord Vishnu's lotus feet? Lord Krishna is directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, and Duryodhana was inimical to him. He would therefore be unable to protect his father. Next passage is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3rd, Chapter 20th, verse 43. Sraddha is a ritualistic performance observed by the followers of the Vedas. There is a yearly occasion of 15 days when ritualistic religiosities follow the principles of offering obligations to departed souls. Thus, those fathers and ancestors who, by freaks of nature, might not have a gross body for material enjoyment can enjoy going such bodies due to offerings of Shraddha, obligation by their descendants. The performance of Shraddha or offering obligation with prasad is still current in India, especially at Gaya, where obligations were offered at the lotus feet of Vishnu in a celebrated temple. Because the Lord is thus pleased with the devotional service of the descendant, by His grace He liberates the condemned souls of forefathers who do not have gross bodies, and He favors them to gain or receive a gross body for development of spiritual advancement. Next verse is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 18, verse 19. The Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 9, verse 25, it is said, Pitranyatri pitavritto. Those who are interested in family welfare are called pitavritto. There is a planet called Pittaloka, and the predominant deity of that planet is called Aryama. He is somewhat of a demigod, and by satisfying him, one can help ghostly family members develop a gross body. Those who are very sinful and attached to their family house, village, or country do not receive a gross body made of material elements, but remains in a subtle body composed of mind, ego, and intelligence. Those who live in such bodies are called ghosts. This ghostly position is very painful because a ghost has intelligence, mind, and ego and wants to enjoy material life. But because he doesn't have a gross material body, he can only create disturbance for want of material satisfaction. It is the duty of a family members, especially the son, to offer obligations to the demigod Aryama or to Lord Vishnu. From time immemorial in India, the son of the dead man goes to Gaya and at a Vishnu temple there offers obligations for the benefit of his ghostly father. It is not that everyone's father becomes a ghost, but the obligations of pinda are offered to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, so that if a family member happens to become a ghost, he will be favored with a gross body. However, if one is habituated to taking the prasad of Lord Vishnu, there is no chance of his being a ghost or anything lower than a human being. In Vedic civilization, there is a performance called Sraddha, by which food is offered with faith and devotion. If one offers obligation with faith and devotion either to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu or to his representative in Pittaloka, Aryama, one's forefathers will attain material bodies to enjoy whatever material enjoyments is due them. In other words, they do not have to become ghosts. So this was some verses and some passages that are referred from Srila Prabhupada's book about Gaya Dham. Hare Krishna.